Now I want to create an object here on this platform, and it's some kind of a power source or ventilation system or filtration system, whatever you want basically. So let's go to the top view and switch to wireframe so you can see the underlying reference. And this is it basically. So let's just shift right click here in the middle of the propeller and let's add a plane. So shift 8 plane, go into the edge mode, scale it down to match, and we want to match the inner edges right here, because this is the curve down there that we'll create. And right now I want to just press Ctrl B to bevel, then V, and we can make like 4. Yeah, 4 will be fine. So let's bevel this, and we can go into the perspective, select all and extrude it out. I think this is the fine height, and you can again make it your own, whatever you want basically. And now with the top face selected, I want to snap the cursor there, and you will see why. So Shift S, cursor to select it, and we can tab out. And now I want to talk about a new thing a little bit. That's the thing we haven't done yet, and that's the booleans. And it's basically a modifier that enables you to combine and subtract objects from one another and really make some procedural non-destructive operations. And you can use it as a helper tool when you're creating your topology and modify your meshes. And what I want to do here is to create a hole in the middle. So if you look from the top, there will be a hole for the propeller. And I think the easiest way right here is to make it with a boolean. So I will guide you through that, and I'll explain some common pitfalls. So first of all, let's add a cylinder here. So Shift A, mesh, and cylinder. Give it the 12 sides. So let's enter 12 sides here, and we can go into the edge mode and make it smaller. And again, let's check the reference. So 7 to top view, wireframe mode, and let's make it to match this. Okay. Right now you can tab out, and if you want to enable boolean, just select the object you want to subtract from or add to, and add the boolean modifier. It can be, you can find it right here, and right there you can see there is an operation drop down with the difference, intersect, union, and the slot for a second object you want to do boolean with. So let's use this eyedropper tool and select the cylinder here. And right away you can see nothing happens because this modifier is applied to the original object but does nothing to the object you used. So basically the original cylinder is still there. So, and the boolean is active, and it's, as I said, non-destructive. So if you move the cylinder, it will create the hole elsewhere. And this can be used to really non-destructive workflows. I will show you how. If you select the original cylinder and go to the object menu here, you can go to the viewport display, and here under display S you can set this to wire. And right now you can see there is a hole there, and you can use this wireframe object to move it and modify it and really make some cuts. Let me go back. But right now I don't really need that non-destructive workflow, so let me just make this cut a little bit deeper, maybe. and select the original object, go to the modifiers, and let's apply this. Right now we are free to delete this cylinder, so let's do that. But beware, the booleans doesn't always create a perfect topology, far from that. On the contrary, it can be pretty wild and you have to be very careful. In this case we are creating some low poly geometry, so it doesn't really matter. We would be creating the n-gon at the top anyway, so I really don't care how the topology looks. And if we go to the edit mode, you can see the boolean basically created two faces there, and they're split here. And yeah, so it really doesn't make much sense, and we could easily modify this, but let's leave it like this. I don't really mind this kind of topology because I don't want to modify the surface in any way or bend it or make it smooth or something like that. If you would be doing hard surface modeling as an opposite to a low poly modeling, the booleans can be very tricky to master, so just be careful with that. Now what I want to do is just to finish this object really quickly. Select these two faces up here and I want to inset them, so press I and make an inset just like this and extrude it down a little bit. So we have some nice details, some nice structure to that. And I want to do a loop cut down here, so make a loop cut there, and again go to the face select, alt click to select this loop, and alt E to extrude along normals with even thickness on by pressing S. And right now we can make it more interesting by going to the edge select, selecting this loop here and grab it up a little bit. And one more detail, let's just do one more cut here and make it two cuts. So modify with the mouse wheel, drag it up a little bit, then select this one here, drag it closer, and again go to the face select, select the loop here, and alt E to extrude along normals and push this inside a little bit. Okay, that's fine. So we have our object, and right now we need to create a propeller. Let's start with adding a circle again, so Shift A, mesh, add a circle, and again I want it to be 12 sides, so we match the hole perfectly. So let's enter 12 and go to the top view. Let's go to the wireframe, and right now you can tab into the edit mode. Let's scale this down, and you can see on the reference where the propeller will be. And right now I will show you how you make this propeller from this circle, and it's quite easy. So let's press F to fill this. Now we can press I to inset and drag it all the way here. And now go to the face select by pressing 3, alt click this loop right there, and there's one function here. If you go to the select, there is an option called checker deselect, and just click that and you will see every other face will be deselected, and that's exactly what we need. So let's press X and delete faces. Right now go back to the vertex select, select all, and by holding Ctrl drag around these to subtract them from selection. Press Ctrl B, then V to bevel, make some nice bevel here. And the one last thing to do, just go to the edge select, and this one we'll have to do manually, so by holding Shift select these and enable proportional editing. Press R to rotate and make it smaller a little bit. And as you can see, before I've deleted the other set, but it doesn't really matter. You can make it out from this as well, and let's confirm. So there's our shape for the propeller, and right now we just need to give it some volume. So let's press E, select all, let's press E to extrude. Let's give it some details. So let's inset this, extrude, inset again with I, extrude down. You can go into the local view, select the bottom face, extrude that, or rather inset that, and let's exit the local view, go into the wireframe and extrude the shaft right here. And we can tab out and bring this down a little bit. And there's your object. So let's name this something. Let's name it power source maybe. And let's name this propeller. And let's shift click the power source and press Ctrl P to parent the object. So when we move this, we move the whole object. Okay, so that's the power source for you with propeller, and let's move on.